All right, this week we got 5 good stations for you. Check them out. Station 1, you just have a number that corresponds to a recording page. Kids can do it in any order they want to. Some start with 19. They record what number they see, so 1,000, 2, 3, 4, 5,000, 19, 5,000, and then hundreds, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 600, and tens, 110. That's a number. For this activity, it's a CPA. We're working with some concrete models. Alright, pictorial, and then we go to abstract. So this is covering your whole CPA here, just in one station. So what you do is you look at this, where you can look at the number if you want, and then you say, oh, well, how many hundreds? We only want thousands cubes when we're done. So we're going to wipe everything away. But would it be easier, and this is working like the concept of rounding comes, are we closer with these hundreds if we stack them up to having another thousands cube, or would it be easier, or would there be less if we just wipe the rest of the hundreds away? So if I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I grab 6 hundreds. Alright, stick with me, this is a good activity. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, and I'm starting to see that almost looks like a thousands cube. If I just add 10 more, like in the base 10 system, I make another thousands cube. So is it easier or quicker for me to add 4 more? Is it a shorter distance, the next 1,000 with 400 more? Or would it be easier to take the 600 away? Or is that the shortest distance away to go back down? So kids can kind of clearly see by even just like comparing the size. Well, if I add 4 more, that's less than if I had to take the 6 away. If I add all those 10s, all right, in the base 10 system, I've made a thousands cube. So now the student can see, all right, that they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 thousands. And they have another 1,000 they just built, which is 6,000. So they can see by rounding here these blocks by just adding them or taking them away. If they're looking in the thousands place, what's closer. Station 2 I call a brain dive because we're kind of going deeper into the thought of why we do things. Use the Station 2 brain dive. You just have activity 1, which goes with column 1 for the recording sheet. And they just read the section, they answer all the questions to get them thinking about this type of math test item that they might see in the test. Station 3 has a hundreds chart as a visual here. And again, it's kind of like Station 2, if there's an activity to do on one page, it says day 1, and there's a section to record right here. This one's kind of nice because it gives kids a lot of choice. It says choose a number from the chart that makes the statement true. So when you're recording, the statement that we're looking at is rounds to 0. So then they're kind of thinking backwards, say, oh, well, all these numbers round to 0. I could pick any one of those and record it. So I could pick the number 3. Those round to 0. Oh, well, what rounds up to 10? I can't choose from here because that, that rounds, that stays at 10. All right, so I have to choose from this section to answer the question correctly. So it gets kids thinking of how rounding works on a hundreds chart. Station 4 is a rounding sort to the nearest thousands place, so they just pick a card that's not bold and underlined, and they look to see, okay, well, that's 700, that's closer to 6,000 is 5,000, so you put it there. I also encourage kids to do it this way, just to find your match in the thousands place, like to your place, and just put it there at first, and then say, oh, well, next door, is that small enough to stay, or is it big enough to go up? So like even with, let's see, with this one, so that would be 5,000, 5,000 as a match, and then have them look at the place behind it next and say, okay, well, is it either going to stay 5,000, or is that 600 going to be close enough to push it to 6,000, and then they move it over. So Station 5 is kind of moving away from concrete and pictorial to kids just seeing these problems abstractly and using the tricks that we teach them. So the first step is they look for the place, which would be the hundreds, and then they go next door. And then whatever rhyme or trick you have for them. 5 or bigger, add 1 more, 4 or less, let it pass. So 7 is there. Everything to the left stays the same. Everything to the right, 0 is remaining. Or 0 is your game. How do you like it? Alright, so there are 10 different cards here. I have my students complete the whole page before they have someone check them, which is usually me, or when they're partners at the station. It covers the hundreds, I cover the thousands, we cover the tens. So there's a bunch of different practice with different amounts of digits in the places too, so they're getting a wide exposure of how to do this. I use the grid because I give my students grid paper when they're testing. So this just kind of gets them ready of like, okay, I can show my work below, down here, after I show my work up here, I can show my work by just dropping that down, and then to the left, staying the same, to the right, 0 as you need. Last thing I want to show you all is this is what your files will look like if you purchase it. I do have a whole other just mini unit on comparing numbers. I'll throw in there. I don't think it has much to say. So it does have a decent amount of just kind of review stations and comparing numbers, activities. I'll just throw that one in there too in the bundle. But yeah, here's the week here. So all the rounding stations it shows you, plus some direct instruction on Smart Notebook, some stuff in Publisher, which is just pretty much right here. And then here's my lesson plans. You get all those too in the bundle. Turn the page. So you get all those, and of course those the ones that I highlight are all those files that are referenced. So they're quoted directly as they come in the file, so you can just search them and find them when I use them in the week. Here's all the recording sheets that I showed you and stations. And then I didn't get to, last week for my rounding to the tens and hundreds unit, I didn't get to everything in the independent practice, so I'm just going to throw this back into this bundle too. There's also day 1 and day 2 that you don't see here that I'm filming on as well. And then some exits, just some quick exit slips that are a little bit different, same format, different numbers. And then just like a quick little rounding, like hook for practice, like where it's just a fun matching game where you just hand a number out to each kid. One person has a number that's around to the hundreds place. Another student somewhere in the room has a number that needs to be rounded to 900, and then they have to just kind of look around the room and talk and share their numbers and find each other. So there'd be another match. So you just randomly hand those out, and then everyone kind of scurries around the room and talks and looks at each other's numbers. And they're getting a lot of rounding practice and just trying to think like, oh, I'm 983. My match 1,000, and they have to kind of look around and see who gets what.